Forward and hey, thanks for joining us. I'm with Mike McCann, the real estate man. If you're in Philadelphia real estate or live in Philadelphia or anywhere near Philadelphia, I'm sure you know the name. I've been lucky to have him as my mentor for 22 years. Thanks for jumping on with us, Mike. Just wanted to talk a little real estate today for everybody who's with us on YouTube. For those who don't know you, just introduce yourself for a couple minutes.
I am Mike McCann, the real estate man, and I love real estate. 35 years, I'm an associate broker. Keller Williams, the McCann team, sold over 10,000 homes. I love helping clients. That is my passion. I love growing agents. I love growing support staff. I love helping people. And I have a beautiful wife and 3 children. Yeah. And I love real estate.
Mike's modest, but he's the Michael Jordan of real estate. I've always said it. I've been saying it for 22 years. And those that you know him, you know that is true. So Mike started in the 80s. I joined him in 2000. So it's my 22nd year with him. This is the best time ever to get into real estate as a realtor and in a lot of other capacities. But as a realtor, do you agree? It's the best time to be in.
Jim, it has never been more exciting, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, whether you're an agent, whether you're an investor. It is the best time of my 35 years to be in real estate. It is just changing fast, dramatic, exciting. It's in multiple ways, depending on what your field is. Investment has been incredible, especially long-term. If you're going to sell a home, you're going to get top dollar. If you're going to buy a home, as long as you're going to be in it for 5-7 years, it's the best time to buy. Interest rates are low. If you're an agent and you want to build a business, it's so much faster than back in my day. Yeah. So there's many, many reasons for real estate. And we really help a lot of people. That's what I love. People rely on us, Jim, whether it's the contractors, the painters, the stagers, the photo people, all types of people. Real estate really drives a big segment of the American economy.
Yeah. And we're lucky we get to be around a lot of talented people every day, right? We see a lot of people get into the business from other professions young, in their 20s, and they're able to scale a business really fast, a lot faster than we did when we got involved. A lot of that is because of their talent, but also technology, systems, and operations, and just where the world is. When we wrote an agreement of sale back in the day, it was by hand on carbon copy. One copy went to the client, one went to us, one went to the office. When we needed something on the file, we had to go to City Hall. We had to drive to City Hall and get it, wait in line. A lot of those things.
People don't want to hear that, Jim. It's like they can't even comprehend that. I mean, I always said there wasn't even the internet, and a fax changed my life. Wait, then email changed my life. Then scanning changed my life. Then DocuSign changed my life. The internet, everybody thought the internet's coming, they're not going to need us.
Yeah.
Well, now the customer does so much of their own work and they rely on us more than ever to help navigate that situation.
Yeah.
So we are really, really at a special time where you can do so much more business with so much less effort, but you always have to have the clients, their goals and their vision as to be the priority. Yeah. It can't be about making a commission. It can't be about one-off. We build clients for life in real estate, whether it's a family, they're going to buy a home from us, then their kids are going to buy a home, their friends, their family, their workers. So we build clients for life. Yeah. We help a lot of people. We're important in people's lives. One thing I say about real estate is I'm a very important part of a person's life during a very important time. They say death, divorce, buying and selling a home are the most stressful things, and they rely on me. They tell me the craziest things, and I'm important in their life, and I love that. That's why I can never stop. They're going to have to be carting me out in in a stretcher.
I know that.
Yeah.
So, the industry's changed, right? So you've been doing it 35 years. Really, there weren't a lot of big changes in the 70s and 80s, to the industry. Even the 90s, like the big change came when the internet rolled in. When the internet rolled in, the business changed. That's because life changed when the internet rolled in. But then since the internet, there hasn't been a lot of changes since, dramatic. But now with technology, things are changing yet again. So where do you see things going? Is it Are we scared, of technology? Because like you said, the internet rolled in and then there was a big fear that, oh my God, they're not going to need realtors anymore. They're going to go online. But really the opposite happened. It only helped our industry because like you said, the consumers became more educated because of the internet. They spent the first year, the first 6 months, 3 months doing their own research, educating themselves. All this information was at their fingertips. So it helped the consumer become more educated, which in turn helped our profession help them better. And just all around made a better home buying and selling experience, in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. People want their own today, and it was a change from back in the day. We controlled the information. They had to come to us for the information. But I used to have to show 40 houses to make a sale. I think the average number of houses we show now are 5 because the buyers have already reviewed everything and decided what works for them and what does not work for them. So from fear, the industry was fearful and thought about putting everything online to, man, it has changed the business. I see agents grow in this business so much faster.
Yeah.
The customer is in control, but then they come to us to navigate because they need a professional. And it's more than ever they're using a realtor versus not a realtor.
Right.
But you got to be a good realtor because a lot of the customers will know more than the realtors if they're not as sharp realtors.
True.
So it's
Are you fearful that the realtor will ever be replaced?
never. No one can. If you want to do what I do, I welcome you. Trust me. I mean, we are 24/7 business. We are. We're not just. We don't just sell a house. We are a successful realtor. Is their therapist, their tax advisor, their accountant, their contractor. I mean, we are everything. We are none of those, but we bring those experts in to help with that. So we are the resource center. We're the experience. We're the confidence builders.
Yeah.
They will never replace us. There's just no way someone's going to do what we do.
Can you, so I've been by this guy's side for 22 years. I've heard a lot of his same stories over and over and over and over again. Same story, but they're great ones. But one I really do enjoy is just like the story of market cycles. So he was in the industry through the 80s, through the 90s, which seems like a really long time ago. And it is, no offense. And then through the early 2000s and late 2000s. But there was a lot of market cycles during that 40-year period, right? And I hear a lot of agents say today or always, oh, I wish I knew about this market cycle. I wish I knew about that market cycle. I would have did this. I would have did that. And I always think, well, how did you not know about market cycles? Like, even if you're new to the business, it's something you probably should have read about, heard about, researched a little bit. You've been through a lot of cycles, up and down. I always enjoy when you walk me through for the 1,000th time, what the market did in the 80s and what it did in the 90s. Can you just touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, I got in real estate interest rates started dropping from 21% to
18%.
18 to
rates.
21%,
Okay.
from 79 to like around 83, 84.
Okay.
At 84, they started to drop. And I was in the hotel business. A couple friends of mine started to buy real estate. And they said, come on, Michael, we're going to buy. I said, I don't work for my dad's. I don't have your money. They said, just take a course. So I took a course at Temple and I fell in love with real estate. But what happened was interest rates dropped down. So 85, 86, 87, the market was going up 20% a year. Tax laws changed and the market collapsed around 89. Through 89, through 96, the market was in a tank.
Okay.
So people that bought, say they bought 650 in Society in Rittenhouse Square in 86, 87. By 92, it was down to 350.
Wow.
Real estate was down for about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
There was a real estate depression in this country. And it was so bad that the government started an organization called the RTC, the Resolution Trust Corporation, because the banks were going out of business. And the government, so it wouldn't happen what happened in the 20s,
right,
just started buying all this real estate. So real estate dropped. So no one touched real estate for the longest time. And so if you bought a condo, we could buy condos in Philly for $35,000. Wow. But nobody was touching them.
Yeah.
I should have bought everything. So it boomed in 85 to 87, 88. And then 89, it collapsed to about 97. I remember saying to my wife, because I bought some properties in 82, in 88, and I remember saying, only our generation does real estate go down, because by 92 it was worth half of what I paid for it.
Right.
But I didn't sell it. By 97, the market started to go back up. So 97 was better, 98, and it caught back up to 88.
Right.
It was 10 years before it caught back up. And then it started to go up. And then we had, I forget, it was the stock market crash of 2000. And then the dot-com crash of 2000. One was 99, one was 2000.
Yep.
They were just shorter bloops.
Yep.
And then the market was going up. And then 9/11 came. And then we had a 6-month year crash of that. Then the government changed tax laws, did all kinds of, and then the market boomed from 03, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I was with you then. We rode that all the way.
We rode that up. Unbelievable.
Clients made a lot of money. Everybody,
Yes.
real estate in every aspect had a lot of success.
Yes. And then there was too easing of the government to get first-time buyers in, to get people in without no income, no asset verification. And that rise started to be based on a weak foundation.
Yep.
And about 88, the market started to change. And then 89, 90, not 89. 08, it started to go down. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right. Financial crisis was really bad.
Again, 30% of the people left the business. People lost money. So if you bought in 05, you sold it in 08, you made money. But if you sold it in 9, 10, 11, 12, you lost money.
Right.
I remember 30% of my people would have to bring money to sell their house. Then in 12, it started to come back slightly. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Another upcycle.
Yeah. By 17, everybody said, oh, the market's going to collapse in 18. 18, 19. Oh, it's going to collapse in 19. 19, 20, it's going to collapse.
Yeah.
Then we had COVID, pandemic. Those 3 months, we thought it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, sales dropped dramatically. We could not go out. It was the end of the world. Technology, Zoom, virtual tours changed the world. 2 months, we were shut down for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of those 2 months, we could go back out. June was the best month of my 30-some years at that time. That June, when we could go back out, that July were the best months.
In 34 years.
In 34 years. These last 2 years have been the best 2 years ever in real estate. And now people are saying, oh, there's going to be a shift. Oh, the market. Oh, rates are going up. Rates went up from 2.75 to like 4.25, 4.5. Do you know when my parents bought in 62, interest rates were like 5%?
Yeah.
So still, this is like buying gas at 30 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
Interest rates are so low.
Right.
Even if they went up to 6 or 7, who cares? To me, when they went under 9, it changed. That was unbelievable.
When I got started with you in 2000, they were at 7, and that was amazing. And everybody was so happy they were.
It was unbelievable. So just a quick summary: if you're borrowing $100,000 at 3%, it's about $300 a month. At 7%, it's $700 a month.
Right.
At 10%, it's $1,000 a month. So the cost, even though those prices are real high, the cost per month is very low, even if they go up.
Sure.
There's an inventory shortage. There's going to continue to be an inventory shortage. The population is growing. The millennials are a bigger population than us boomers. I'm the bottom of the boomers, okay? My wife doesn't want me to call it boomer, but I am a boomer. I'm the bottom of the boomers, but the millennial population is about 10 million more than the boomers.
Right.
And we shift anything we got into, we change that market.
Right.
They're all in the prime buying age right now. 30, 31, 32, 33 right now. So there's a demand that will continue and continue.
Yeah. So a lot of people think that the biggest wave of the millennials still buying is yet to come because
Absolutely.
of the last 3 years.
Just like, it's funny, just like my mom, she said, if you weren't back in her day, if you weren't married by the time you were 21, you were an old maid. Today, if you got married at 21, it's almost like child abuse. Like it's crazy, you know, but everything starts later.
Yeah,
so the millennials are enjoying their 20s. God bless them. You know, that's fantastic. And not getting more serious into their 30s.
So what I get out of what you said about the 4 decades of up and down cycles, every 7 years or so is a cycle. Every 5 to 7 years on average over the last 40 years, we go through these cycles. But the key point is every time we go in a cycle and out of a cycle, whether up or down, we're trending upward the whole time.
Without question.
right? So we go through a bad cycle and the market's down, but we come out of it stronger than ever before and much higher shortly after that.
You're losing ground if you don't buy investment real estate now, if you don't buy a home now, and you can. You're losing ground. Even if the market went down next year, which it won't, but even if it did, over time, that will go up and go up.
Yeah.
And there's many benefits besides just the value of that house, the tax benefits, the pride of home ownership. Nothing like your first home. My first home was a $40,000 house. And guess what? I've had 4 since. I had the best memories. It was our home, man.
Yeah.
I still own that home today.
Yeah.
So long-term real estate is the best hedge. And at the end of someone's life, the biggest wealth that they ever have is real estate. So most people, I'd say, I don't know what the number is, but 95% of the American population. So if you own one house and that's your biggest wealth, could you imagine if you own 2?
Mm-hmm.
Right. What if you owned 4? What if you owned 5?
Right.
What if you own 10?
Yeah.
So they are real wealth builders. And to me, you buy a home, never sell it. Rent it out, go to your next home.
Yes.
Rent it out, go to your next home. And get those paid off in 15 or 20 years. And then you have great income and the values will go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 500%.
Yep. I just read something that the average homeowner's net worth in America is $255,000. The average renter's net worth in America is like $7,000. It was Wall Street Journal or one of those reports. So out of all those cycles up and down, whether it's the stock market or real estate market, the trend line goes like this, right?
Yes.
So the trend line goes like this, and along the way there's up and downs, but they're always trending higher as we go on.
Yeah. And there's so many benefits about real estate. It's like what you use and you live in every day. Like the emotional, listen, I didn't come from much. There was nothing prouder than my first home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the real benefit. You fix it up, you paint it, you do what you want. It's like your child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. It's another fact I read. Over the last 30, 40 years, there's never been a 10-year period in those decades where if you bought a home and you held it for that 8, 9, 10-year period, that you didn't come out ahead.
Yes.
Value-wise 10 years later. So no matter where you bought, middle of the recession, middle of the pandemic, before the pandemic, after the pandemic, before the financial crisis, after the financial crisis, 10 years later, that value is higher than what you bought at. So back to your point, if you're going to be there long term, don't get gun shy and just decide to rent 3 more years because you're nervous about what things can do, what they can't do. If you're looking to raise your family and own a piece of real estate for long term, it's a great decision.
Beg, borrow. We have a lot of parents that help their children with deposit. You know what I mean? With deposit. Because most of the millennials. So I talk millennials a lot because that entry level market is what keeps the whole market going. 65% in Philadelphia, at least in our marketplace, are millennials. And they have good jobs, good income, but they lack the down payment because they're going out, they're Ubering, they got nice clothes, they're taking vacation. They're living the life that I never lived, when I was that age. So but parents like to help, you know what I mean? So get some money from your parents to buy, but you should buy now. And what I love, Jim, and I've helped so many people after I become their trusted advisor and they buy their home from me, is I want to sell you an investment property. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. I can show you how to do it. And we buy a house and I help them use my contractor to clean it up and we rent it out. And then as that area gets better and better, the value of that goes up, their mortgage goes down and they become wealthy. And the best, I got a phone call about a year and a half ago from a guy and he said to me, Mike, it's John DeLuca, it's John. And he said, hey, John, he said, listen, both my kids now have great jobs. They're 26 and 28. I want you to make them a millionaire the way you made me a millionaire.
Yeah.
What do you mean, John? He said, those properties that you sold me, man, they're worth millions now. Yeah. Not each one's worth millions, but the accumulation of multiple homes. And he was just buying little houses in South Philly. And so we went out and I sold them 4 houses in the last year and a half. So they're going to do that same formula. Yeah. And that's great.
I've seen people enter your ecosystem and you sell them a home, then you sell them an investment property. I've been with them 22 years. and then they get into the business more. They either become a realtor or they become a developer. And I've seen you take a lot of folks from rehabbing one home a year, building one home a year, to doing several, then investing more and growing and growing and growing. So I have seen you do that.
Come on, Jim. I've done that to a lot of people. No one's done it more than you. Jim Onesti, the bestie, has sold more new construction in the city of Philadelphia, I believe it's the sixth largest city in America, than anyone, any realtor ever. And so you've taken that to a science.
Well, together, both of us.
Yeah.
Like we find good people, they
Yes.
find us, we hit it off with them, we work well together, and then we're able to go out and together grow and scale. We've seen a lot of success stories come out of our friends and family, our clients who were new clients 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and they accomplished amazing things. We went along for the ride. We helped them where we could.
And I love it. It's about changing communities, because some of the areas we go into are not in great shape. You know what I mean? Slowly fix them up, and then 5 years later, there's trees on the block. The houses are fixed.
Businesses are coming.
Yes.
Jobs.
Yeah, it's that. I love that. I love taking a rundown house and fixing it up.
This guy's planted so many trees in the city.
I love trees in the city, man. If you have a block with trees versus a block without trees, you'll probably get 10% more on that block with a bunch of trees than not.
No doubt. Now, when you're driving down the street, you're like, "Why is this street so nice?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's all trees." Back to the first-time buyers. That demographic is so important to the market, right? Because it's a chain reaction. It's a domino effect. If those first-time buyers are able to buy a house, that usually unlocks a potential buyer, move-up buyer, the home they're buying. That owner then moves up and buys another home. And that usually unlocks a more expensive home for someone else to buy, in the luxury market. And right now we have a major problem with inventory. That's not happening as much as it needs to get this market going and to find all these home buyers homes, right? Because it's clogged up. There's not enough inventory. Those sales aren't happening as fast as they would normally pre-pandemic. So the system's all clogged up now. Right? And that domino effect isn't happening. And that's probably realtors' biggest problem, but also home buyers' biggest problem and home sellers' biggest problem. We have so many sellers in the suburbs, city too, the main line, the shore, where they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go, but I just need to find a place to go to. So check in with me in 3 months, or I'll call you in 6 months. How many of those calls are we taking a month? That's a major problem.
It's a major problem. Right now, Jim, sales are down for the year 5%. The only reason they're down 5% is because there's no inventory. If we had enough inventory, sales would be up 30%.
Yeah.
I mean, if all of a sudden there's all this inventory hit the market, boom, 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 they would sell. People want to buy. So that is a real problem. I don't see that going away for a while, unfortunately. So what I'm telling people is expand out. So, again, when you can't buy in a certain area, maybe go to the next area, fix something up, because that area will continue to grow. So it's maybe small downtowns in the suburbs that weren't really, the trend was out. Now you'll probably see that fixing up.
Yeah.
Same thing with the neighborhoods in the city. Suburbs, I think they're even going further out, but look at alternatives so you can get into that house. And if it's your first home, it doesn't have to be perfect, man. Just get in a home. Because in 3 years, this inventory shortage should be gone, in 3 years. I think it's about 1.5 years at least.
Yeah. You see some new construction coming, you see some more towers going up. So eventually it's going to shake free, but it's going to take a little while.
Yeah. And a lot of it's rentals. The rental market is off the charts. Rents are up.
Yeah.
And I think in the suburbs last year, values went up like 25%. So people are scared.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to overpay. Just buy it. It's not going to come down. It really is not.
Yeah.
And you're competing with a lot of investors because real estate's been so good. So you have a lot of rental properties, luxury rentals that people are building. But again, rent temporarily.
I almost feel like the secret of real estate really came out when I started with you in the early 2000s, right? I think I wasn't around in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but I think so fewer people.
I wasn't
were
around in the
involved.
70s selling real estate. Let's just get that
All right.
clear, okay? I wasn't around though, but yeah.
I think it was less sexier. Like now, real estate is very sexy, and because of the internet again, people get educated on it really fast. So I think it was a little bit. I mean, look, real estate's no secret, but I think it was a better kept secret in the earlier decades because the message wasn't out to the general public as fast and as repetitive as it is now. You turn on TV, there's 7 different real estate investing shows. You turn on TV, there's 100 different real estate decorating shows, right? Realtor shows. So everybody now, like how many people do we have leaving their profession to get into real estate? Hey, I used to be a lawyer, but now I'm in real estate. Oh, I used to be a brain surgeon. Now I'm in real estate. I don't think that happened in the 70s and 80s.
There's 500,000 people right now in real estate school. There's only about 1.5 million realtors. There's 500,000 people in real estate school. But I will tell you, all that fancy TV with all the shows, renovation shows, people love that stuff. The live TV, what's it called?
Yeah, reality.
The reality TVs. I will tell you, like when we bought a home, my generation, it was like paneling, drop ceilings. We'd go in, we'd have our dad and our brother help us fix it up. Today, because of that, all the millennials want beautiful, perfect stuff from all these shows. So it is a more demanding marketplace. So it really, it's like they say, they ain't making any more of it. And I will tell you, Philadelphia, it's come a long way in the last 20 years. For years, the growth was leaving the city up until about 8 years. Really started to turn around in the early 2000s, especially downtown. But it's growing. It will continue to grow because it's still not the value of a Boston, of a Washington.
Right.
And Philadelphia is a great city to live in.
Still value.
There's
Lots of value.
There's still, try to buy a place in England. Try to buy a place like someday people aren't going to be able to touch real estate.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of places in the world you can't buy real estate.
Right.
So
awesome, man. Thanks for jumping on.
Oh, my
I don't want to
man.
keep you too
Awesome.
long.
That's great. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for sticking with us.